Hi!
We're here!
We're here! Right, yes, point at the sign. Pointing at the sign. Sidewalk Slam. Welcome to some sort of Sidewalk Slam. The wrestling podcast focusing on storyline and narrative. And this is our, as is tradition, this is our pre-Mania Primer with no video supplementary thing, so we can record it and get it out the door like right away.
Yeah.
Ideally, you're seeing this mere hours from when we've recorded it.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Which means we won't have seen the go
when you're
home.
watching this, I'll be wearing the same clothes that I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, weird, hey? It also means we won't have seen the go home SmackDown.
Yeah. I watched the Go Home Raw last night. It was okay. It was
a recap.
It was what you would expect from a Go Home Raw.
Yeah. So this is actually our second time recording this episode. So we won't like harp on that, but there was an audio issue that's largely my fault, and so we're back again. But that's okay, because as soon as we finish recording something, I shunt all memory of it out of my brain. So I have no idea what we said.
I have like some idea.
Yeah.
Mainly because I was so in love with that recording that I was like, it's very rarely that I record something, like do a Sidewalk Slam, and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, like super excited about it. Like just that, that creator's curse, I guess.
I feel like that most times.
Really?
Though. Yeah. Like we go in, you and I are like, oh God, this is going to be bad. And then we record and we're like, that actually felt really nice.
Okay. Yeah, so. Usually when I'm finished, I'm never like super confident in it, I guess. Mm-hmm. I mean, people keep watching. Thank you. Yeah. But that was that episode. But I mean, this will be just as good.
Yeah, so basically, the last episode we did was the Elimination Chamber, and then Fastlane happened on SmackDown. At this point, we're not doing an episode about Fastlane. Not a lot of stuff happened, and what did, we'll mention today. Yeah. And then WrestleMania will happen, and we'll do a post-WrestleMania episode, because it's coming up real quick. It's this Sunday. Yeah. We're recording this on Tuesday morning, and it's coming up in 5 days. Yeah. We got to find somewhere, and we'll be at PAX East. We got to find somewhere in Boston to watch it.
Yeah.
And
we have to watch Takeover too. Yeah. I cannot miss Takeover, Graham.
Well, it's Boston, so I'm sure there's a sports bar somewhere.
I hope so. It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
And as long as there's not what's the joke? Like a Cubs game? Is that I don't know.
The Red Sox?
Red Sox. Who's Boston?
Red Sox.
Okay, cool. Chicago is the Cubs.
Is that what I looked like when we talked about Harry Potter?
Probably.
Yeah, it's the Red Sox.
And I'm thinking of the
Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, no, I know the Cubs are Chicago. I'm trying to figure out why I was conflating the Chicago Cubs with Boston. They're both very windy cities.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so basically what we're going to do is go down the match card as listed. Just the 13 confirmed matches on the Wikipedia page for WrestleMania, and discuss the storylines that brought us to this point.
Yes.
So,
but
yes,
before we start, Graham.
Oh yes, right.
People will kill us if we do not mention.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So, at Elimination Chamber, we talked about Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt had a match.
Yeah.
And I thought, and maybe Graham thought, that was the blow-off. That was it. That was the end of the feud.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no. In fact, it was merely a prelude to the ultimate deletion. So we talked last year about the final deletion, this bonkers, like B-movie cinematically shot match between Matt and Jeff Hardy at the Hardy compound that they did for Impact Wrestling. And when they were both on Impact Wrestling, which got to be like a year and a half ago now. Because this was, it wasn't super long before they then debuted at WrestleMania, or returned to WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was like a big, 6 months leading up to their return at WrestleMania. They did all that stuff, and final deletion, total nonstop deletion.
Basically, they got the go-ahead, or Matt Hardy got the go-ahead to do that again with creative control. And make it the last 20 minutes of an episode of Raw.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Borash, formerly of Impact Wrestling, one of the people considered like the heart of that company, some months ago got hired by WWE to work on the NXT brand.
Yeah.
But they brought him on because he was a big creative force behind the final deletion for Impact. So they brought him on set for this as well, which was cool. But it's ludicrous. It's an absolutely ridiculous, 20 minutes. The whole thing is up on the WWE YouTube channel now.
Yeah, you can watch it.
And you should check it out.
Because like the whole thing, like the thing starts with like this cut, and then Bray Wyatt's getting out of a car. Gets out of a car, I think, or he's just walking up to the gates
of the Hardy
compound. And Vanguard 1, which is the drone.
It's the DJI Phantom 4 drone. And
it's funnier when you name the model.
And his best friend. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, and Vanguard 1 floats in, and then this hologram of Matt Hardy appears out of the drone.
Wyatt.
I'm still not sold on the laugh. Yeah. Everything else has been great.
Either,
this has been, I think people were expecting, because people who watched the final deletion, like the hardcore fans, expected just a continuation of that, but they have to restart, right?
Yeah.
Because they have to reintroduce everyone to the universe.
There was not a lot of Impact in those days was doing okay, but wasn't getting astounding viewership. And the video of the final deletion has 1.4, 1.5 million views on the Impact Wrestling channel.
Yeah.
And combined all the Hardy, all the woken Matt Hardy clips on the WWE channel, just crater that.
Yeah.
Right. So this is introducing the broken universe to a much larger audience.
Yeah.
So really, it's a sequel in the way that Evil Dead 2 was a sequel. Because Evil Dead 2 was a sequel, but it was also basically a remake of Evil Dead 1.
Yeah, with a bigger budget.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what this is.
I never thought about that. It really was, wasn't it?
Army of Darkness was a totally different movie, but Evil Dead 1 and 2 are basically the same movie, just, now Sam Raimi has money. So...
It's basically the same thing, but Matt Hardy got money.
Yeah, essentially. Although, man, the compound, what a cool place.
Yeah, dude.
This giant house in the middle of North Carolina somewhere.
I know they introduced, there's a whole cast of characters they had to introduce, which they did in videos leading up to.
Yeah, Kedley was watching me scroll through the subreddit and was like, why does Matt Hardy have a drone in his family portrait? And I was like, okay, I have a lot to explain.
So we got, I know that they introduced King Maxwell, who's his son.
Who's 6?
6, somewhere around there, who was 2-0 in TNA.
Yeah.
He beat Drake Maverick, the GM of...
He has a win over Rockstar Spud.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then, I don't know if they introduced his others, his smaller son. I think his name's Wolfgang or something like that.
Smaller son.
Smaller. The younger one.
Yeah, that's the word typically people use.
The smaller, weaker one.
I don't think he's been in it. No.
And then they introduced Senior Benjamin, who's his gardener.
Yeah, who's in
universe gardener.
In real life, it's actually Reeby's dad.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that makes a lot more sense. Why this guy's around all the time?
Yeah,
he's not just some random dude. He could have been a friend of Matt Hardy's or something.
That's true. Yeah.
And then is it Reeby?
It's Reeby or Rebby. I'm not
entirely
sure.
We don't know which one to say. Has she been introduced? Because I don't think I've seen her on anything.
She was in the Ultimate Deletion.
She was
playing the piano.
Yeah. But I mean, did they introduce her properly?
That clip is about to fire off your shirt.
Okay.
It's so close to. No, it's on that. There we go. Oh. Look at all these noises we're making.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. There you go. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
A little microphone noise for all of you.
Edit.
All of you ASMR fans out there.
Or there's not gonna be no edit.
Nope, no editing. We're flying through it now. So anyway, this thing was just go watch it. You don't need us to tell you the highlights of the ridiculous parts of it.
It's the wrestling content that I crave.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that I want. That's why I love House of Horrors was stupid, but I liked it.
Yeah. So at the end of this match, Matt ends up winning, and they throw Bray Wyatt into the Lake of Reincarnation, and he hasn't been seen since. So who knows what that's going to do to him.
Yeah.
Well, they throw something in the Lake of Reincarnation.
Dude, people were hoping that Bray Wyatt was going to come back as Husky Harris, who he was in NXT before he became...
For context,
Bray Wyatt.
During the final deletion with Matt and Jeff went into the Lake of Reincarnation and came back out briefly as...
Willow,
one of his other gimmicks, and I'm pretty sure didn't they have Shane Helms? They had another match at the compound, and Shane Helms went in and came out as the Hurricane.
I think so.
Yeah, we talked about him in the Rumble episode.
Yeah, but anyway, go watch it. It's fun. It's just fun. I want to see more.
It's so silly.
I hope they let him do more.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, WrestleMania. here are the 13 matches on the card. There were 13 matches. We were discussing this earlier, and we're like, God, that seems like a lot, or is it a lot? I can't really tell because we don't really know about what's going on with the pre-show. But there was 13 matches on last year's card, so there are two battle royals this year. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, the Arm Bar, as it's colloquially known, which is, hey, none of these guys have a match on the card. Let's get them in. Let's get them on the stage of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Well, I like it. I'm glad that they do it because otherwise,
I like battle royals. Though.
I
mean, last year's was fun. We got the Gronk.
We did get the Gronk. Yeah.
I mean, something good has come out of almost every one, and maybe except for the one where the Big Show won. Because I mean, like the first year.
Well, that's because Big Show never actually won a battle royal.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing there is like, how's anyone going to stop the Big Show from winning a battle royal? And then everyone teams up on him every single time. So they were like, let's let Big Show win one for once. Baron Corbin made use of it. Mojo Rawley's not really made a
I mean,
a lot of use of
Cesaro.
it.
I mean, the cool thing about the first one was Cesaro when he body slammed Big Show over the top rope.
That was cool. Yeah.
So
So
nothing really happened to Cesaro after that.
anyway, the armbar is just it's a good way to get people who aren't on the main roster or who aren't in the main card, who don't have singles or title matches or whatever, just at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Get a payday.
I think it's a nice gesture because they super don't have to do it, and it's not like there's tremendous value in this match as a, you know.
I mean, some people argue, hey, they should put value into it.
Yeah.
Which they've kind of done. I mean, at least with Baron Corbin, they mentioned it.
They make a big deal out of it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And then they stand by the statue that's out by the ring.
Yeah. Also, for the first time, we have the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal.
Yes.
Because now the women's roster is so big that they sort of the same thing, get the women that aren't participating out there.
Yeah. I mean, there was a huge problem leading up to the Women's Battle Royal because it was named the Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal.
Yeah, so because they were like, oh, we got Andre the Giant and then we need a women's wrestler. Well, it's the Fabulous Moolah, because they already used Mae Young for the Mae Young Classic.
Yes.
And so they're like, yeah, we'll do the Fabulous Moolah. And people were like, ooh, that's, because, I mean, briefly, you know, we'll talk about it. The Fabulous Moolah she was a women's wrestler and women's wrestling promoter from way back. She held the women's title for something like 20-odd years.
That's a long time.
Which was, like, keeping it hostage to an extent.
Yeah.
But the issue was that there are numerous allegations that she was just actually a really awful person, like a truly despicable
really
human being who, like, literally would pimp out women's wrestlers. Just be like, well, you're performing at this wrestling show, so you are also obligated to have sex with the promoter, and then like stuff involving drugs. And apparently, her wrestling school was basically just like grooming these women to sleep with promoters, and Moolah would take the money, sort of thing. You can read all about this on the internet. It's awful. And this all, people have obviously been talking about it in hushed tones for some years, but this all sort of came to light more recently after her death.
Yeah.
But prior to her death, she and Mae Young both enjoyed sort of a resurgence in visibility, being like used in backstage segments as like joke bits of like, look, these two old women, and then like you got like Dolph Ziggler getting like felt up or whatever.
Yeah.
You know. And so after she died, and then all this came out, people were like, oh, that's okay, well, let's just make sure that all goes away. And then WWE's like, hey guys, it's the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal. And then people were like, oh, we know about all that. Right? That's actually not, hey, Snickers, who are the sponsor. And then Snickers was like, we will talk to the WWE. And then the name changed.
Yeah.
So great.
So good. I mean, it's just bizarre to me watching the whole thing unfold, because usually WWE just distance themselves from stuff like this. Like the second there's any allegations, which it will come up even when we're talking about this card, like this if there's allegations against somebody,
then
they're like, okay, we need a backup plan or something. And this was just like they did it, and they're like, well, why is everyone mad?
I think they thought people didn't know. Or didn't care.
Remember, or just didn't care.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's not the world we live in, which is
anyway,
totally fine.
They kind of just lump anybody who's not in a match on this card is just lumped into these battle royals.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I would love everyone to have a storyline and a match going into WrestleMania, but I don't want to sit there for 18 hours and watch wrestling. So you need stuff like this. And they're fun. They're just fun. Wrestling can be fun. It's okay.
Nobody wants to sit through a 3-hour football game. Thanks, Vince.
I forgot about that.
Speaking of allegations, the vacant Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah.
The finals of the Cruiserweight Tournament.
Nice segue, Graham.
Thank you. The finals of the Cruiserweight Championship Tournament also will be happening at WrestleMania. They've been running we mentioned this in a previous episode, they've been running an elimination tournament for the vacant Cruiserweight Championship, and the finals between Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali are happening at WrestleMania as well, if you're interested. Cedric Alexander defeated Grand Metalik, TJP, and Roderick Strong.
Yeah.
And Mustafa Ali defeated Gentleman Jack Gallagher, Buddy Murphy, and Drew Gulak.
If you have time, go watch the Cedric Alexander Roderick Strong match. Probably should have been the finals, but hey, who am I to judge? And
Hideo Itami was out in the first round?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it's weird because like stuff like that, Hideo Itami, they hyped his entrance into the Cruiserweight division so highly, and then all of a sudden he's just like out in the first round, which felt weird.
That
but
sucks.
Also, Drew Gulak and Tony Nese had a match, and they had this cool storyline going into it. Was like, hey, you guys need to stop goofing around. No one cares about your washboard abs, Tony Nese, and no one cares about your stupid PowerPoint presentations, Drew Gulak. And so they were like, you need to take this more seriously. And then Drew Gulak goes absolutely ape shit in the match. It's awesome. You should watch it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Is that like Drake Maverick?
Yeah, Drake Maverick doing a backstage statement, and he's like, you two need to fucking take this more seriously.
Is that the one? Oh, I wish we could show you a clip of it. Is that the one where they missed the edit? I've done this before, by the way. I
don't know.
Where you have someone you'll be recording a scene, and you'll be like, hey, hang on. Hey, what are you doing over there? Right?
Oh, they didn't.
There was there was a backstage thing with Drake Maverick, and he was like, I don't know what. One sec. I don't know what you think you're doing here, you know, so and so, and it was clearly meant to be cut, like that first couple seconds, because he clearly like stops and like mentally refocuses and restarts the promo.
Yeah,
but it's just in the episode.
Maybe they left it in there to make it seem more real.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe like a real human being talking. Maybe. I mean, not really. I mean, no human being talks like someone who works at WWE talks.
No.
Right? Like, I don't call Graham the monster among men. Like, instead of saying Graham Stark, like...
What? I would not... You're literally taller than me.
I know, but I'm just saying for reference.
Fair enough.
I don't call Graham, like, the big dog.
Your father, the cerebral assassin.
Yeah. Will be so upset.
So, yeah, that's... it looks like both Battle Royals and the Cruiserweight Championship are going to be on the pre-show, and then... because I mean something's going to go on the pre-show and the rest. This card's looking pretty good, honestly. Yeah. So
I'm so upset that they put the Cruiserweight Championship on the pre-show again.
Hopefully,
after all that fucking hullabaloo about this big tournament and they're restarting everything.
Hopefully, they at least make it on the Blu-ray this time.
Yeah. Too soon, Graham. Too soon. Have we heard anything about Neville? Is he just gone? Is he just?
He's still under contract.
Really?
He's around. Like he hasn't been on TV. We haven't seen him in ages. I'm hoping.
But he's still under contract.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they sort their differences out and get him to return.
Yeah, I want to see Neville again.
Wouldn't that be a surprise return for Braun Strowman?
Holy shit!
Get Neville back on the main roster. We'll come to that.
Yeah.
So, all right, just going to go sort of in kind of reverse order here on the Wikipedia page. Daniel Bryan.
Oh, yeah. I forgot again!
Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Daniel Bryan's back! Daniel Bryan's back!
Yes.
Graham!
Yes.
I'm so happy.
It's so great. It's so good.
Dude, oh my god. So Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
For every episode on this show, I think we've mentioned, hey, he's never coming back. Don't get your hopes up.
Didn't he retire like right around? Because it's been
it was like February.
Years.
It was like February of 2016. Roughly.
So like right around when we started the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've never covered a Daniel Bryan match on this show.
Right.
Because we talked about doing the Daniel Bryan thing.
Right.
And we never got around to it because, hey, turns out that we've got more than enough work on our plates.
Yeah.
But we've never covered Daniel Bryan on the show in like a wrestling capacity.
Yeah.
So,
but he's back.
Yes.
And he's he's taken time off. He's healed, and
What was the thing that the doctor said?
well, the neurologist that was looking him over, like, looked at basically his like CT scans in his brain and was like, I can't find evidence that you were ever injured.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. So
Man.
apparently he's good. Like, he's cleared to wrestle. He's cleared to perform, which is he's thrilled about.
Yeah.
And it's it's great. Like, this is just good news. Like that doctor then like got the other doctors that had looked at him before and were like, we all agree about this, right? And then they spoke to the doctor,
God, what's the main doctor's name?
Dr.
Joseph Maroon?
Maroon, yeah.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, talked to him who hadn't cleared Daniel before, and they were like, please look at this evidence.
Yeah.
Right? And then, so yeah, he's clear.
I think
he's back.
Maroon's like the big head doctor, right?
Of WWE, yeah.
He was the one that we refused to clear him for whatever, when he retired.
So,
like, you can't write this stuff.
it's amazing.
Like, the man just became more beloved by coming back, which is insane.
Yeah.
To think that we could love Daniel Bryan more, because we thought we lost him.
Yeah.
And now we get him back? If you love something, set it free. Right?
Well, they were terrified of that. Yeah. They were actually horrified that if they did set him free, that he would just go wrestle on the indies, because he was just desperate to wrestle.
I mean, there's that.
Apparently, Triple H basically made it like a personal thing to be like, I got to try and get him well.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like if we don't and his contract is up, he will leave and he will go wrestle
in like New Japan.
Yeah,
or Ring of Honor,
and possibly not with the kind of medical care we can provide. Because Daniel Bryan just is like, I need to get back in the ring.
Yeah.
So also just the value there. I mean, from a business perspective, the valuation of losing Daniel Bryan.
Sorry for the aside, because we don't need them, because we've got stuff to get through. But there's a show that the Bullet Club, i.e. like Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks and Marty Scurll, who wrestle for New Japan and Ring of Honor, and they're thinking of doing promoting a show in a 10,000 seat arena, I think in Chicago.
Yeah.
They're calling it All In, and I think that was one of the things that they were hoping to get. Maybe it's like, hey, if they don't re-sign Daniel Bryan, it's like, how do we fill a 10,000 seat arena?
You were saying that Daniel Bryan has been spending a lot of his time
in hyperbolic chambers,
right? In a hyperbaric chamber. It's just
my shame.
It's just the way Jim Ross describes the Elimination Chamber is the hyperbolic chamber. Yeah. 8 miles of chain, 300 tons of steel.
6 hyperbolic chambers. When they come out, there's no trace of brain damage.
The largest structure ever assembled. So Daniel Bryan returned on SmackDown and gave a wonderful speech sort of explaining, why he's back, how he is healthy, he is better, thanking everybody, and that was great.
To rewind a little bit before this, because at Fastlane, which we skipped, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were in the Six Pack Challenge.
Yes.
With Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, AJ Styles, and John Cena. John Cena, we'll cover why John.
Yeah,
we'll get back to John. And in that match, Shane McMahon was ringside, and they've had this storyline, this big, long, year-long storyline. It's been a year. Like, it's been around since, what was it? It really started when Kevin and AJ were feuding over the U.S. title right after WrestleMania last year.
Yes, right. Wow.
Yeah, it's been a year. And they say they don't do long-term storylines. And then they do, and people don't fucking care. It's just like, it's a year-long storyline.
They're often bad at it.
Yeah, but hey, man, they're trying.
Like when Triple H attacked Seth Rollins and then left for 5 months. And then came back and they were like, hey, remember when you were really mad at me? Let's just pick it up from there. Anyway.
So during that match, the week before, the go-home episode of SmackDown, Sami Zayn kind of turned on Kevin Owens and attacked him during like a Fatal 5-Way.
Yeah.
A non-title Fatal 5-Way. Pinned Kevin Owens. So they're trying to build up a little bit of tension there. And then at Fastlane, Kevin Owens and Sami were fighting each other, and Kevin went to super kick Sami, and Sami moved and super kicked Shane.
Yeah.
So then Shane stopped Kevin from pinning Sami at one point, and then did the same for Sami to meet Kevin.
Yeah.
And then that caused Sami Zayn to eat a phenomenal forearm, I think, eventually. That's how AJ retained at Fastlane. So then, the week after the Fastlane pay-per-view, Shane came out and he's like, look, I'm getting too involved with the wrestlers.
Yeah, no kidding.
No shit, yeah. And it's just, I'm stepping over the line between boss and wrestler, and I need to take a step away. So, hey guys, you won. Like, I'm gone. Like, I'm leaving. I'm taking a leave of absence. And Kevin and Sami come out and they're like, no, you don't get to do this. Like, you don't get to screw us out of our world title.
And then just leave.
And get off scot-free with no punishment. So they attack him and beat the crap out of him. And that's what leads to...
So then Shane's off TV.
And then all of a sudden, Daniel Bryan gets cleared, and we're all just like, what? Because it happened on the Tuesday, like the Tuesday of the SmackDown, they just announced it, like hours before like SmackDown was going live.
Yeah, they were just like, hey, tonight on SmackDown, Daniel Bryan's cleared to wrestle.
Yeah, we were all just like, what?
So, God, can you imagine if he'd been...
I remember, this will be one of the things, I remember exactly where I was, and I was streaming Sea of Thieves with James. And people are like, hey, Daniel Bryan got cleared. I'm like, wait, what? Just dropped everything I was doing.
I was just thinking, can you imagine if he'd been well a little earlier and had been a surprise entrant in the Rumble, but then if he didn't...
He would have to win.
He would have to win?
Yeah.
He'd have to win. Anyway.
I mean, we say that every time Daniel Bryan was in the Royal Rumble,
he's never won
healthy. When he was healthy, we all said, well, he's got to win, right?
Yeah.
Never won.
So he comes out, he gives his speech, his I'm back speech. It's great. Then Kevin and Sami come out.
Yeah.
And they get sort of belligerent. And Daniel Bryan's like, hold on. I'm still the general manager of SmackDown. And you guys, last week, you attacked your boss, Shane McMahon. You got what you wanted. He admitted he was wrong, and he was leaving. You'd won, and you still attacked him. This was the best part of his promo. He's like, I don't understand.
Like, he's just at his wit's end. Like, you know how we talked about at the brand split?
Yeah.
How we wanted... when they split the GMs up, we wanted one of them just to run the show like they were just trying to run a wrestling show, and they've got all these maniacs running around and just beating the shit out of each other.
And generally speaking, that's sort of how SmackDown is played out. And Daniel Bryan is just like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So like, you're fired. Mm-hmm. You're both fired. Like, sorry, but you attacked your boss. You've been belligerent and all this stuff, and you are a danger to the people in the company. You're fired. I don't want to do this, but get out.
Yeah.
And then he like extends his hand for a handshake, and they both sort of begrudgingly are like, well, yeah, I guess we did do that. And they shake his hand, and then as they're getting out of the ring, Kevin Owens turns around and just levels him with a clothesline.
Yeah.
And then they both just beat the tar out of Daniel Bryan. And Sami looks a little more reluctant about it. He's sort of like, when Kevin attacks him, Sammy's like, oh, I guess
it's almost like every time stuff like this happens, he's like, well, I guess we're
beating the tar out of Daniel Bryan now. All right. Like, he did not enough to stop, but he's like, oh, I guess that's what's happening. Yeah. Okay. So now the situation is there's a match they're still kind of currently fired. I guess it's like not a sanctioned match necessarily, but it's
unsanctioned.
It's Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, with the stipulation that if Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn win, they're rehired by SmackDown. Yeah. Presumably, if they lose, they get hired by Raw, because that's
just going to let them go.
Yeah. That's assuming that Shane is well enough by WrestleMania, because he legitimately, this is not in storyline, he has diverticulitis.
That almost killed Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Now, you can get different severities of it.
Yeah.
And they apparently caught it fine, and he's in the hospital, and he's been being treated for several weeks. So I assume he'll be okay.
One can only assume he got it from kissing Brock Lesnar.
I think that's how that is transmitted, yes. Speaking of tag matches with people who are generally considered a non-competitor, on the Raw brand, we have Team McMahon Triple H and Stephanie McMahon
Yeah.
versus Team Rousey, Kurt Angle, and Rowdy Ronda Rousey in a mixed tag match.
Yep.
So
It's a
weird
spectacle match.
Yeah, it's that.
It's
a spectacle match. Basically, we talked in the Elimination Chamber episode about the Raw style contract signing in the middle of the pay-per-view, and how Kurt basically like sandbagged Trips and Steph, and how they'd been talking crap about Rousey.
Yeah.
And she signed the contract
And for
anyway.
some reason, they didn't turn off his mic, and they kept letting him talk.
Yeah, and she signed the contract anyway, we assume because she wanted to beat them up legally in the ring.
Look, wrestling doesn't always have to make sense.
So this is weird because they did that signing, and then WWE, it was known that she signed a full-time contract. She's not like a some number of dates or appearances like Brock Lesnar is. She signed a full-time contract. They put an article up on WWE.com saying that she's going to be at every Raw leading up to WrestleMania. Then after she definitely wasn't for like 3 weeks running, they deleted that article.
Like, where is she?
She has made appearances. She hasn't had a match.
Yeah.
She's had altercations. She had an altercation with Dana Brooke that looked a little sloppy.
Yeah.
Because I think what's happening is that she's not she's not picking up the different style of professional wrestling as quickly as maybe they thought she would.
Yeah.
Which is not to say
not
she's,
everyone's a Kurt Angle, right?
No, which is not to say she's not putting in the effort. Apparently, while she was filming that movie in Colombia, she was like flying to the Performance Center in Florida.
Yeah. At night.
To train, because that's madness. But yeah, apparently she's been putting in the effort. Which, what did you say? There's one thing wrestling fans.
Yeah, wrestling fans wanted, like, they're okay with celebrities, but
they want them to care.
Yeah. We want them to care, and we all think Brock Lesnar doesn't care.
Yeah, like when
which may or may not be
that
true.
match with Stardust and Stephen Amell.
Yeah, man, I forgot all about that.
The guy who plays Arrow.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Who's this guy?" And then he's taking bumps and like doing flips and stuff. And people are like, all right, cool.
Yeah, cool.
All right,
cool,
this guy.
Man. Yeah, so I think that's why I think we're all willing to give Ronda a chance. I mean, say what you want about Ronda outside of this character that she has, because I mean, like, we all, people have problems with her. Things she said haven't been the best.
Yeah.
But I need to look at it as a character, like the character she's playing, I guess.
It's also that, like, if we start going down the path of critiquing things that all of these performers say on like their social media or whatever, that just starts. That's a path nobody wants to go down.
Then we're stuck in this weird kind of like situation where, like, do we just ignore them, like, on their part of the show? You know what I mean? Like, do we just skip over them, like, if we don't like the things that they say?
I have to pretend that Randy Orton didn't say that he thinks school shootings are caused by a lack of Bible being taught in schools, right? Like
he said that.
Yeah, on his Twitter. Like they're not all. Sometimes the people who participate in wrestling
opened my hyperbolic chamber.
Say awful things, and or at least things that I disagree with, and so I just have to sort of awkwardly navigate past that.
Yeah.
So
anyway, they've mainly had, like, they've done interview segments between Steph and Triple H against Kurt and Ronda.
Yeah.
Ronda's not been good on the mic, but that's such a hard skill to learn.
Apparently she was better last night.
Yeah, she did. She threatened to, like, rip Steph's arm off, which was pretty sweet. Nice. Like, that's what we need. What they need to do for Ronda is what they should have done for Roman. Is, like, don't feed her lines, let her be a badass.
Yeah.
Don't talk that much. Mm-hmm. I mean, give her Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the obvious solution.
Yeah.
But she gave a Samoan drop to Steph at one point.
That's
cool. Pretty sweet.
I guess my worry that I was talking to you about earlier is that Kurt Angle and Triple H, that'll be great.
Yeah.
But then, because it's mixed tag match, it's the men versus men, women versus the women. Though I assume at some point,
I'm assuming Ronda's gonna
hip toss Triple H or something.
Yeah. He's gonna do something. Or she's gonna do something.
But you've got Ronda, who is as a professional wrestler, very green.
Yeah.
And Stephanie McMahon, who's not a wrestler.
No.
She's had matches, but like, Stephanie is not the person who can carry someone who is green to a great match. So I assume there's going to be a lot of booking of the match to sort of cover for that, depending on what sort of state they think Rousey's in by the time the match comes up.
Yeah, it's either going to be just Ronda just kicking the crap out of Steph.
Yeah, but I don't care because it's like you said, it's a spectacle match.
Yeah,
this is not the match that we're being like, yes, let us observe the technical prowess.
It's like, I'm not expecting Ronda Rousey to be Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Wow.
Like, just let's view this as someone who's having their first match at WrestleMania, and we need to take that into account. I mean, you can say like, hey, she signed up for the deal and she needs to take the criticism. Criticism's fine, but you also need to take into account like, hey, it's her first time. Mm-hmm. So give it a shot. Just enjoy it for the story, not for the actual technical aspect.
While we're discussing tag team matches, let's go also to the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match with the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, defending the Uso Penitentiary against the New Day.
I know we mentioned it before, but I want those. Okay, so we didn't actually really talk about it, but the WWE has started putting like little graphics on promos that people cut like backstage.
They're awful.
They're fucking terrible.
They're really bad.
If me and Graham did this show, I mean, if me and Graham did this show in that vein, it'd be like awful, and then awful in like big bubble level letters with like sticker across like our faces.
It's like Microsoft Word art. It looks like they've got someone.
Did you see the cut somebody did? Sorry to interrupt you again.
It's okay.
Somebody did of the old Attitude Era promos in that style.
Oh my god.
They did CM Punk's pipe bomb like that.
Oh no.
It's so funny.
Oh no.
Advertisements and like Twitter hashtags all over the screen.
It's like they've got the production truck. They've got all the cameras from the arena going into the production truck, and the director is there, like, you know, like changing the camera angles, and then the whole thing pipes into someone's iPhone where they're like fucking around with Snapchat filters, and then that goes out to the broadcast.
I'm waiting for when somebody has their phone up and they're talking, but there's the dog thing.
Exactly.
They're cutting a promo and they're like a fucking giraffe or something. Like, that'd be so good. The death of wrestling in a 5-second clip. The Undertaker talking as a fucking dog.
As a rainbow tumbles out of his mouth. Rest in, and the sparkles fire out of his
Oh my god, I need this in my life right now.
So,
don't ever let me in charge of the WWE, I'll tell you that much.
It's actually, this is a triple threat, by the way. So it's the Usos defending against the New Day.
Yeah.
And the Bludgeon Brothers.
With their inflatable hammers.
Harper and Rowan. Are they inflatable?
Well, they're like rubber.
Okay.
Because like at Fastlane, the New Day and the Usos were having a tag team match, and then like maybe like 10 minutes in, the Bludgeon Brothers showed up, beat the crap out of everyone, and they carry these hammers to the ring, but when they drop the hammers, they just bounced and like spun. It reminds me of way back in the Attitude Era. Goldust and Vader were doing an angle, and I think they had a hammer in the ring, and the hammer was rubber.
Right.
And Vader stepped on a rubber hammer, just squashed. Like, it's just like, oh my god. What? I don't expect them to use real equipment, but it's pretty funny when stuff like this happens, when you just tell, like was Triple H's sledgehammers always like, they call it gimmicked.
Sometimes they were.
Yeah.
Sometimes he just only does like the stomach punch.
Yeah. So. The stomach punch.
Well, it's like he holds it like he's gonna hit them in the temple.
Yeah.
And then he puts his hand over the head of it and just sort of goes oomph into their guts. So the storyline leading into this match is that Harper and Rowan have lost their first names and are jealous of everyone else in a quest to get their first name back. And if they win, they'll be known as Big Jimmy Harper and Xavier Kofi Rowan.
Big Jimmy Neutron.
It's a loser loses their first name match.
Yeah, and then the New Day will just be the Day.
The Day.
The
Day.
Usos.
Kingston, Woods, and E. And the Usos, Uso and Uso. I don't know why Luke Harper and Eric Rowan lost their first names, but when they got repackaged as the Bludgeon Brothers, they were like, it's the Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan.
Yeah.
I don't know. They look cool.
Yeah.
They're like mid-era Kane outfits, but they look cool.
They look cool.
And anyway, that's not actually the storyline. The storyline is that it's the championship match, and not Biggie, the New Day and the Usos were feuding, and then the Bludgeon Brothers basically inserted themselves into this.
Yeah,
and that's it.
They're being displayed like they did this at Fastlane when the Bludgeon Brothers attacked everyone.
Yeah.
They did like an injury angle with like Xavier Woods, and like he got powerbombed. Oh, the best part. So during this attack, the Bludgeon Brothers were setting up the steel steps, and this guy's in the crowd. This is why I wish we could have edited this in, because this is so funny. There's this guy in the crowd, and he's like, "You won't do it," and he's like setting up the stairs, and then they pick up. He's like, He's just yelling it for like 5 minutes straight. "You'll never do it," and then they pick him up and powerbomb Xavier Woods on the stairs, and then you just hear, "You did it." It's so fucking good. God. Yeah. Oh my god.
They're eating her. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So they did some weird injury angle. Like Xavier Woods had some ludicrous injury that you would never get from being powerbombed on a set of stairs. But hey, damage modifiers, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And so the Bludgeon Brothers are being portrayed as like way stronger than everyone else. Mm-hmm. Like the New Day and
they're big guys.
The New Day and the Usos have kind of like in the weeks leading up to WrestleMania have kind of teamed up together. Like because Xavier Woods was injured, and I think one of the Usos was injured. So the other Uso and like Big E did a tag team match against the Bludgeon Brothers.
Oh, cool.
They're doing like singles matches. Like we gotta team up against these guys because they're way too tough.
Nice.
It's like an episode of Dragon Ball Z, right?
Right.
And yeah, I don't know. I like the Bludgeon Brothers. I think that I wish they towed the line more of creepy swamp people. But I mean,
they're
that's
definitely
a bit too close to the wires.
Currently, they're definitely existing in a realm that you would think the Ascension would be in.
Yeah.
The Ascension.
It more like, you know what it seems like to me? Like they're towing the line of shitty horror movie villain that WWE produced. You know, like those the movies they always used to do.
Like Kane in See No Evil. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But hey, it'll be a good match.
Yeah.
I'm not too stressed out. But I guess we got tangent with the graphics. Going back to the graphics, we talked about it last episode, but the gate slamming on the thing whenever they talked about the
lockdown.
See, that's the part I liked because it was so shitty, but it's like when they're doing the promos and they're like, "I persevere," and then they put perseverance in like fucking Sanskrit across the screen. It's like it makes Graham super happy.
Yeah, it's great. Speaking of tag team matches, though, on the Raw brand, we have the Raw Tag Team Championship. The champions, Sheamus and Cesaro, The Bar, defending against the team of Braun Strowman.
Yep. This is the best. I hope they don't give him a partner. Please just make it Braun.
That's currently the match, is Braun Strowman versus, like, for the tag champions.
So,
how did this happen?
There was a Raw Battle Royal, a tag team Battle Royal, because they couldn't decide who was going to be... Well, sorry, for weeks, the Bar was like, hey, we've run through the whole tag team division. There's no one left to fight.
So...
And they could sit on Twitter, and like they even like got responses from like different tag teams all over the world. It was pretty sweet, like the Young Bucks and everyone else. Actually, I think the Young Bucks were like, I think we have that weekend open. Winky face, thinking emoji.
Can you imagine if the Young Bucks, like not under contract, just on like a one-time appearance, they just show up on Raw, win the belts, and leave?
God, WWE would never do it.
No, never.
But
never,
ever.
Ever.
Sweet. So the weeks leading up, and then Kurt Angle was like, fine, I'll, I don't know, they'll have a battle royal. So all these tag teams are in. And then who's the last entrance? Braun Strowman. He enters by himself. He wins the battle royal by himself. No tag team partner. And then the weeks leading up was like, Kurt was like, you need to pick a tag team partner. And he's like, nah, not doing it. Last night on Raw, Braun came out and interrupted the Bar's promo.
Ooh.
And he's like, oh, I found my tag team partner. He's just like me. I love him. And then he comes back out dressed in like a white dress shirt and glasses, and he's Braun Strowman.
I love that they let Braun be goofy.
Yeah, it's so great.
It adds a lot of depth to his character.
Yeah. It made us fall in love with him more. Like
Like
I'm way more on the Braun train.
The standing base with Elias.
Yeah.
So that's a good point actually. The scuttlebutt, the internet guesses of who his partner is going to be at WrestleMania. Elias is the current leading contender.
Yeah.
Because they've been feuding.
Well, Braun's been kicking the crap out of Elias.
Well, okay.
Feuding's a
Braun's been feuding with Elias, and Elias has been trying to get away.
yeah.
I really want it to be James Ellsworth.
Yeah, that's the suggestion I like.
I love that idea.
Because the catch these hands thing, and then
any man with two hands can wrestle. So yeah, the idea that it could be surprise return from James Ellsworth would be awesome.
he get a massive pop, dude. It'd be insane.
Some less exciting possibilities. A returning Big Cass.
Oh right.
Yeah. Remember, he's around.
Yeah.
He's cleared.
He's cleared?
Yeah, he got cleared the day after Daniel Bryan, and everybody was like, oh, that's nice for him, I guess.
20 likes.
Yeah. And it's like, so how are you supposed to follow that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey,
I'm back here. I'm cleared.
I'm cleared too.
Hey.
I'm 7 foot tall.
You can't teach.
Can't. Are we not doing that?
No.
Am I? Okay. Can I still say soft?
I wonder what he's gonna do when he comes back.
I have no idea. Probably not team with Braun Strowman though.
No.
Alternately, Braun Strowman just wins by himself
God,
and then holds the
please.
belts by himself. Because why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Okay. Mid-card championships. There is a triple threat. Wait a minute. That's a fatal four-way now for the United States Championship. Randy Orton, champion, defending against Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, and late edition Rusev.
Yay!
And
Rusev, finally. Maybe Rusev will get his moment. Maybe he'll win a pay-per-view
April
match.
8th is Rusev Day, so
Yep. We checked.
yeah, I just had to double check that. But yeah, basically, I mean, what's the story been going into this? It's just sort of
Well,
that
at Fastlane.
Randy Orton and Bobby Roode have been feuding.
Yeah. Because Randy Orton won the U.S. title at Fastlane.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people hated. I thought the match was great.
You're keen on them to give Bobby an excuse for a heel turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like if Bobby keeps losing these big high-profile matches, being a babyface, I mean it's the easiest way out.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like, well, I keep losing fair and square, so better cheat.
Yeah.
That's just the way it works.
And then Jinder Mahal showed up and said, "Hey, I was world champion for a little while there.
Hey guys,
I'm in this match now."
I hate everyone. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was it.
And then Jinder Mahal had a match with Rusev on an episode of SmackDown, and there was this match card graphic that was really funny because it was Rusev with Aiden English, like way in the background over his shoulder, and then Jinder Mahal with the one uninjured Singh brother over his shoulder. And I just imagine them like
Giving advice.
yeah, or just like leaning around back. You know, it's like Rusev is like, "I'm going to come and attack you," and then Aiden English is like, "Yeah."
Like the cartoon of the dogs.
Yeah, Jinder Mahal's, "I'm the modern day Maharaja," and the Singh brothers like, "Yeah." One of the Singh brothers had an injury at a house show, I think it is.
Oh, really?
I think. I'm not
Man,
sure.
I'm surprised they haven't been injured sooner. Remember when Randy Orton threw
Just
one of
kept
them?
throwing them around. Whee! Anyway,
When he almost killed a man?
so yeah, that should be.
I mean, that
should be a fun match.
Kind of the feud. I would like to give it more credence, but it's just kind of like, hey, it's a fatal four-way. I'm hoping Rusev wins. Rusev needs to win.
Oh, that'd be so good. I would love that.
And it's a WrestleMania crowd, so they'll be behind Rusev.
Yeah, especially after he was so over during the Rumble.
Yeah.
People were cheering for him during the Rumble, and then he was just off SmackDown for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Just not there.
A crime.
Yeah. On the Raw brand.
But I mean, knowing WWE, Jinder is going to win. It's a safe bet.
maybe if Gronk interferes.
Oh. I guess, yeah.
I don't know why he'd be at
Why
me.
he
I think they just want. You know when he's done with football,
He's coming to wrestle him?
Vince is going to be like, "Hey,
Hey, Gronk.
come and have a wrestle.
Want to come and have a wrestle? Come on, Tiger.
Come and do a wrestle." On the Raw brand, a triple threat, but actually a triple threat. Well, this was a singles match that became a triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
The Miz defends against Seth Rollins and Finn Balor.
Feels like a lot of these builds were kind of thrown for a loop. Well, this build was thrown for a loop because the Miz had Miz's wife had a daughter. Mm-hmm. And so he was off TV for a couple weeks. So it was just Seth Rollins and Finn Balor kind of having matches with each other, which I'm fine with. Like, because basically the way it worked out was like Seth Rollins was like, Miz, I want to challenge you at WrestleMania. And then Finn Balor showed up and was like, hey, I'm better than both of you.
Yep.
And that's it.
Monroe Sky Mizanin.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Miz, if you're watching, congratulations.
Congrats. Have fun with that. Yeah, so it's... I mean, this will be a good match because it's The Miz and Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, and they're
Do you think Finn will be the demon? They haven't alluded to it.
I don't think there's any reason for him to be the demon.
That's true.
I don't think there's any... I mean, I think they pushed that one out way too quickly in the initial...
Well, I mean, it sucks that he got hurt.
Yeah, but I mean, he was the demon in like his first major match on the main roster, which I think was too quick.
I mean, it should have been like he kept losing, and then he's like, wow, it's time to...
Yeah, I think it should be more like that, but that's obviously not what they want, and so, I don't know, maybe...
You think they just keep doing it because it's marketable?
Yeah.
And you got to make $1, right?
It's good for action figures. So maybe they will for...
I mean, if I was a kid
WrestleMania.
and I was watching wrestling now, I'd be like, fuck yeah, give me the demon.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
That's true.
How edgy can we get?
Do you see the new...
Big fucking Sephiroth sword.
The new Balor Club shirt?
No.
It's got the existing, like, BC sort of pointy thing, but in a rainbow, and it's like portion of proceeds is going to GLAAD.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's super cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. Also, since Finn started hanging out with Gallows and Anderson, there's actually a club.
Yeah.
It's not just Finn Balor wearing shirts that say Balor Club.
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss
Yeah.
defends the Raw Women's Championship against Nia Jax.
But wait, Graham,
Yes.
last episode,
We were
convinced.
Thanks, commentary.
Yeah.
Well, no, we
weren't convinced.
We maintained,
We were trying to be convinced.
We maintained that Asuka still hadn't said who she was challenging from her Rumble victory, because she could challenge either Alexa Bliss or Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
And we were saying that she still hadn't said who she was challenging, but the Raw commentary team seemed pretty convinced that she was going to be challenging Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
That would prove not to be the case. And actually, I guess let's just talk about that really quickly, because there's actually no story in the other match. So Charlotte Flair is defending the SmackDown Championship against Asuka.
Yeah.
Because Asuka won the Royal Rumble, and then she appeared at Fastlane and said, I'm challenging you at WrestleMania.
That's it.
And that's it.
And
that's fine.
We're A-okay.
Because Charlotte's great, and Asuka's great, and...
It's just kind of like what we're getting with Styles and Nakamura.
Yeah. I can't wait to see that match.
Yep.
They have they even interact? I assume they'll interact tonight, but have they interacted since then?
I assume Asuka will be there, but I don't think she's been on SmackDown at all. I mean, the weeks after Elimination Chamber, because Asuka and Nia Jax had a match at Elimination Chamber.
Oh yeah, right.
And then, which Asuka won, and then on an episode of Raw, Asuka and Nia Jax had another match, and I fucking loved this because Asuka had Nia Jax in this armbar for like, I don't know, I want to say like 30 minutes, but it wasn't 30 minutes. It was a long time. Probably like 5 minutes of TV time, which is a long time.
That's awfully hyperbaric of you.
My shame. Forever hyperbolic.
Sorry, what were you saying?
So she had Nia Jax in an armbar
For a long period of
time.
time.
Yeah. And Nia wouldn't give up.
Yeah.
And so they're doing like this face turn of Nia Jax.
Yeah.
And so Nia didn't give up, and then, well, she gave up eventually because, I mean, you got to tap out sometime. And then she did the whole, like, standing in the ring and, like, holding her arm, and everyone actually started cheering her. Mm-hmm. Like, yay! And then while she's standing in the ring, they cut to the Titantron.
Yeah.
And it shows Alexa Bliss and Mickie James talking backstage like the cameras aren't there, like they don't know the cameras are on, talking about how gullible Nia Jax is and how she's a big idiot, and they suckered her and she'll believe anything, and she's a big dumb giant. She's a big dummy. And then the interviewer, I can't remember what her name is. Not the one for Raw.
Charlie Caruso?
I think it's Charlie Caruso, right? Something like that. So she comes on, it's like, hey guys, you guys ready for your interview? And they're like, what? And they're like, yeah, the camera's been on the whole time. I'm like, oh no. And then freeze frame, and then the episode of Saved by the Bell starts. I think you're right, Charlie.
Yeah, it's just Charlie Caruso, yeah.
So yeah. So Graham.
It's just I just have a lot of feelings about they need to better delineate the backstage segments between there's never any indication about what is supposed to be live and whether the wrestlers know this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm cool with the interviews being shot with like the sports cameras. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. But stuff like when Braun Strowman was appearing out of the garbage truck and all the people in that scene were pretending like the cameras weren't there.
Yeah.
That should have been shot with cinematic lenses and made to look like just like a separate, like a scene that's happening somewhere else. You could still do it like documentary style, but it shouldn't look like any other part of the show.
Yeah.
And this, like, having them both framed up to camera, but apparently oblivious to the fact that there's a camera crew right there with this giant broadcast camera and a boom mic is.
I didn't think about the boom mic and the camera crew.
They're just like, let's just talk shit, even though this camera and mic are pointed right at us.
It's like a red light's on.
Yeah. And how fired is Charlie Caruso? The director was like, cut to that interview, and she's on the other side of the arena, and they're like, oh, I got to get over there and interview them. Oh no, they've already cut. They're already on them. They could be saying anything. I'm missing the scoop.
My scoop. Fuck, I love the boom mic. Just like, what are you guys doing? Ah, nothing.
Nothing. We're just broadcasting this to the arena. What?
So Nia Jax sees this whole thing happening, and she gets all mad. And she actually comes backstage and starts tearing the set apart. It's pretty sweet.
Also like, I mean, I think the most egregious one of these, was when Big Cass tries to call Enzo. Sorry for bringing Enzo.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry for bringing Enzo up, but he tries to phone him, and then it cuts to footage of Enzo at Rusev and Lana's hotel room. But it's clearly, again, cinematically shot, but with these like wide-angle sports coverage lenses. But none of the people there acknowledge that the camera is there, even though it's shot as if they know it's there.
Yeah.
Right? It's the thing where it's like everyone's playing to the camera, and it's really like obviously the camera guy is in the scene, but everyone's pretending it's not actually there. It's really weird. And to have that be live broadcast to the arena. I have some production design feedback for you. What I cut you off.
I don't
even
remember what we were talking about. Nia came back and started ripping apart all this stuff in the scene.
Right.
And so that's been the thing. And now they're playing this like this angle where Nia Jax is like, I'm proud of who I am and what I look like, and don't body shame me and everything else. And like, I'm trying to, I didn't want to make that sound like, hey, it's a dumb thing. It's good.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think you've brought this up before, or you brought it up before the show, was that's been their whole thing with presenting Nia Jax.
Yeah, it seems it seems counterintuitive to how they've presented her character so far, where her thing is like I'm not like most girls. That's literally her theme song. And she's like, this is who I am. I'm the monster of the women's division. You know, I'm like, I'm big, but I don't care. I'm not like most girls. I'll fight you all.
Yeah.
But now they're playing that like she's super sensitive about it and crying about it, and like she's based on how WWE have handled subtle storytelling in the past, I think it's giving them too much credit to say that this is like something that Nia's character has been struggling with the entire time, and that now it's finally come to a head. That's what I want. That's what I want to believe, because that would be really interesting storytelling. That her whole like I'm not like most girls thing is just like a hard facade.
Kind of like where like the WWE marketing machine is like, this is how we're going to present you. And she's like,
Yeah.
that's not really how I want to be. I'm not really comfortable with. But she said yes anyway because this is her big chance.
That
right?
would be really interesting, but now it just seems sort of inconsistent with how her character is. That said, it's I don't think it's necessarily going badly.
I think it's good. I'm actually more on board with Nia the way she is right now than I was when they were just like doing the Braun Strowman route where she was like squashing people and that was it.
Well, because I could never, physicality aside, I could never buy her character as a unstoppable monster, right? Because she was always like, she had the look, but she didn't talk or act like it.
Yeah.
So I think this is probably a better use for her. And Alexa Bliss is amazing.
She's so good.
And is just acting like such a bee.
Yeah.
And it's great.
She's always great though. Like we're never really that upset.
Do you think Nia Jax is going to win the championship at WrestleMania?
Man, Alexa Bliss had that title for like a year.
Yeah, that's true.
It's high time for her to lose it.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going to happen in Charlotte v. Asuka, by the way.
Oh, Asuka's going to win.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They've been hyping this undefeated streak forever.
True, but I mean, it's very Vince to be like, oh, we'll end the streak at WrestleMania. Or rather, end the streak at Fastlane randomly beforehand, Bailey.
Oh,
Anyway.
I think that, I don't know, I read somewhere a single line. I don't even know if there's any credence to it, but they want to do Asuka versus Rousey at next year's WrestleMania.
Ooh.
So Asuka will win for like a whole year.
That could be cool.
Yep.
Now, we've come to your double main event. There's 2 main events.
There's 4 main events.
No main events.
5 main events.
13
main events.
Well, I mean, not the cruiserweights, obviously. So 12 main events. Or cruiserweights.
For cruiserweights.
AJ Styles, the WWE champion, defending against Royal Rumble winner Shinsuke Nakamura.
I was hoping you were going to say Shinsuke Snickers Nakamura.
Shinsuke
Do you remember
Snickers
seeing the
Nakamura.
graphic? And
Was
it was
that,
like,
was that at Fastlane?
yeah, it was at Fastlane right after the main event finished, and they're like, "It's official, AJ Styles," and that like weird neon writing.
Yeah.
And then it was Shinsuke Snickers Nakamura.
Yeah. They just insert the sponsor.
Shinsuke even
logo
tweeted
right
something about it.
Yeah.
He was like, "Get ready for Shinsuke Snickers Nakamura." It was pretty good.
So, yeah, there's not particularly a big storyline here. This is very similar to Asuka and Charlotte.
looking
It's
for a scrap.
Shinsuke won the Royal Rumble, and he wants to challenge AJ Styles.
Yep.
And
they did that thing in Japan that everyone loved.
yeah, did you see? Was it New Japan? New Japan Pro Wrestling, I think it was. They occasionally upload matches to their YouTube channel, and this week, for some reason, they decided to upload a match between Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles.
Really?
Smart.
Yeah, that is very smart.
So yeah, this is the match for people who want to see a real good wrestling match. And they haven't interacted a lot since the Rumble, but there was a bit this week that I really enjoyed, or I guess last week, where it was AJ who was having a match.
No, Shinsuke had a match with Shelton Benjamin.
Shinsuke had a match with Shelton Benjamin. Thank you. And then AJ came out and
was watching.
There was an altercation, and AJ's stumbling around the ring, and Shinsuke is gearing up to like knee him in the temple, and then just barrels at him in the middle of the ring, and then just stops hard, and AJ's like, "Whoa," and tumbles backwards, and Shinsuke is just like,
I could have got you.
I could have got you.
That's like what they did, if you remember, Rock and Austin.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was a build-up to WrestleMania X7. They would do stuff like that to each other.
Yeah.
They'd be like, The Rock would be like doing the thing where he's like waiting for the rock bottom, and Austin would turn around and be like, could have got you. So it was pretty sweet. Yeah.
So yeah,
That's it.
it's going to be great.
Yeah. I mean, there's no universe. I mean, it could be bad in the WWE universe, I guess, but is there a multiverse where this match is bad?
I don't think so.
I just don't think it's possible. The crowd's going to be into it.
Unlike the WWE Universal Championship, that's not a fair assessment. But the other match is the WWE Universal Championship. Brock Lesnar, the champion, defending against Elimination Chamber victor Roman Reigns.
All right.
Yeah.
I kind of like this storyline.
Yeah.
Roman cut 2 of the best promos he's ever cut. 2 in like 2 weeks back to back. And the problem is that it hasn't stuck with me.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like he cuts it and I'm like, all right, sweet, that was cool, that was good. And then the next week I'm just kind of like, I can't really remember what he did. You know?
My problem... Can you summarize the gist of these promos?
Okay. So basically the angle Roman's taking is that, hey, we're all sick of Brock Lesnar being a part-timer, and he's never here, and he's never defending the belt, and he doesn't respect me, he doesn't respect the people in the locker room, and he most of all doesn't respect all of you people. Huh? Mm-hmm. Pop here in Cleveland, Ohio. In town. Yeah. Pause. Yeah. So, that's basically it. I mean,
and that's fine, right? That's a fine angle to take.
We've seen this storyline so many times.
Could you summarize? Let's go back 4 or 5 years. Could you summarize the promos John Cena cut on The Raw leading up to their WrestleMania match?
John Cena believed that The Rock abandoned the WWE for Hollywood, and he doesn't care about John Cena. He doesn't respect John Cena or the people in the back or all of you people here in Cleveland, Ohio. Pause. Cheer.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. Like the thing, like Roman's doing well with the promos.
Yeah.
Which is a victory unto itself.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing about like, I'm here all the time and this guy's a part-timer and I don't like it. And it's like, stop.
It feels like, you know what it feels like? It's like, what do internet wrestling fans hate about Brock Lesnar?
That he's never around?
Yeah. And they're just like, well, we should just get Roman. Hey, look, Roman thinks like you normies do. You know what I mean? Like, you keyboard warriors. He's one of you.
Yeah, it's just the problem is that Roman's so dull.
Yeah. And the most egregious parts of the promos where Vince was like, or not Vince, Roman was having a promo with Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
I mean, the best part of it was Paul Heyman was in the ring first, had the belt on the mat, on the ground, and Roman came out and was like, pick that belt up, you respect that belt. I mean, that part was pretty sweet.
I did like that.
Yeah.
Didn't Roman like wear the U.S. title like a backpack?
Yeah, he sure did.
Okay.
Yeah, look, Graham.
Okay, sorry, continue.
I'm trying to like this storyline.
Okay.
And Roman says that he calls Brock Vince's boy. In Cleveland, Ohio.
Wherever that show was.
So
it's like, if anyone is Vince's boy.
Yeah.
And we know that. So if they're trying to appeal to the internet audience, it's like, Also, didn't he like really obviously go off script onto a different script?
Yeah.
It was like, that's it, I'm going off script. What I really think is this.
Is like, Brock Lesnar's not actually here tonight. Yeah, I'm not going to cover for him because we're all sick of covering for him in the back. We come here every day. And the best, actually, one of my favorite parts was he cut this promo about how the authority of the WWE lets Brock Lesnar do whatever he wants and how Roman thinks it isn't fair, and then Roman beat the crap out of a bunch of cops.
Right.
It was so good.
Do not hear yourself.
Yeah. And then, like, the last couple weeks, they've just kind of taken turns beating each other up with a chair. Roman hit 6 Superman punches last night on Brock Lesnar, and Brock just got up and F5'd him. That's going to be that match. How many Superman punches? What's the over-under?
I hope AJ Nakamura goes on last. Apart from anything else, because Roman's going to win this match.
Yep.
The WrestleMania crowd is going to hate that.
Yep.
The Raw crowd the next night is going to hate Roman.
Yep.
They're going to boo him constantly.
Yep.
He's going to have massive heat, and the WWE is not going to capitalize on it, and then no one will give a shit in like 2 months.
Yeah. That's a bizarre thing because for a product that is so reliant on emotional reactions.
Yeah.
Especially what they didn't do last year was when Roman essentially retired the Undertaker that we know of, and the crowd was losing their minds last year. The Raw after WrestleMania,
it was like 15 minutes of Roman just like raising the mic up to his mouth, and then just this onslaught of boos.
There was a "fuck you, Roman" chant.
Yeah.
And you'd think the WWE would be like, well, we better strike while the iron is hot, and we need to lay into this hard.
Yeah. And,
nope.
And no one cares. No one cared months later. He's like, I'm the big dog. It's my yard. And everyone's like, you're Roman.
The only time we ever boo him now is like when people bring it up. Hey, remember when I retired the Undertaker? Hey, yeah, boo. And then we forget about it like a week later again.
Like, I'm just...
They need to lay into stuff more.
With Roman specifically, they keep rounding off the pointy edges of Roman, and it just makes him incredibly dull.
Yeah.
It's just like you had something there after the Undertaker, and then also so he'll be facing Brock this year. Last year, Undertaker. The year before,
Triple H.
The
year before that, Brock Lesnar.
Man,
4 WrestleManias in a row,
and he's still so dull.
Yeah. And he hasn't changed.
No.
He's the same character.
Yeah.
You could take Roman Reigns, the character. The wrestler's fine. He's good. Roman Reigns, the character from that WrestleMania where Seth Rollins cashed in, to the Roman Reigns now. The only difference is I think they call him the big dog.
Yeah.
That's it.
Remember when he didn't wear the vest one week?
Yeah, it was weird.
It was weird.
It's like seeing like I don't know, I'm trying to think of an equivalent.
Yeah.
It's like seeing somebody who always wears a hat, you see them without a hat.
Yeah, or like when you're like a regular at like a coffee shop or something.
Yeah.
And you see the same people every day in like the uniform or whatever.
Oh, you see them out of the uniform.
And then you like just see like the barista you see every day, but they're just like out somewhere in normal clothes, and you're like,
It's like not everyone's an NPC in an RPG that you're playing. Like they're not there all. That's all they do. Like you see them in the coffee shop, they're always in the coffee shop.
Am I supposed to? Do I get a coffee now? I don't understand.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. I mean, Roman's winning.
Yeah.
We don't even know if Brock is re-signed. Because like his contract runs out, I think, shortly after WrestleMania.
If Brock wins, he's going to hold the thing till SummerSlam. Probably. Yeah. So you might have noticed that, because that's it. Those are the announced matches for WrestleMania. That's all 13 of them. So hopefully you are primed for WrestleMania in that regard. But you might have noticed...
there's a name missing.
Notable by their absence.
We can't see someone on this list.
I can't see them. John Felix Anthony Cena.
Felix Anthony. Is that actually his real...
I had to look it up.
No way. Felix Anthony?
John Felix Anthony Cena. Yeah.
Holy shit.
There you go.
You've pulled back the veneer. It's no longer a mystery.
It's interesting because it's John. It's not Jonathan. It's not like short for, it's John.
John.
His name is John.
John.
Yeah.
4 letters, 1 word.
Alternate ring names. The prototype is Mr. P, which I assume is related to the prototype, and Juan Cena. When was he Juan Cena?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, so John Cena doesn't have a match for WrestleMania, that's his storyline going into WrestleMania.
His storyline was, I don't have a match.
Yeah.
No, I want a match at WrestleMania, or else I'm just going to be in the crowd, which isn't a bad thing, but I don't want to be in the crowd for the WrestleMania.
So it's interesting because, I really enjoy this story. I love the idea of John Cena as the like petulant veteran who doesn't have a home at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
However, to enjoy this storyline, you have to suspend your disbelief of the notion that even in storyline, the WWE knows that John Cena is an amazing asset.
Yeah.
And the idea that Kurt Angle or Daniel Bryan or Stephanie or Vince wouldn't be like, we have to find a reason to get John Cena at WrestleMania is laughable. It makes no sense that John Cena, even in storyline, wouldn't have a reason to appear at WrestleMania. Yeah. So you have to sort of ignore that part. But I love the idea that he's like, he was at the Royal Rumble and he was in the Final Four, didn't win the Royal Rumble. So then he went over to Raw and was like, I'm in the Elimination Chamber. And then he didn't win that. Yeah. And then so he went to SmackDown and badgered them into putting him in the six-pack challenge for AJ's title and didn't win that. And now he's like, well, what can I do now? And so he like the Raw.
You know who sucks and is a big poopy face?
So the Raw after Fastlane, he's talking about how he's going to try and find a way to get to Mania, and just he sort of like mentions the Undertaker. He's like, maybe I'll challenge the Undertaker, and I was like, oh ha ha ha, okay, that's a funny, like, you're just sort of doing that to like, you know, like mess with the crowd a little bit. But then the next week he was back on it, and it's so weird because his thing is like, it's like. The Undertaker retired, right? Yeah. And John Cena is being like, well, I still haven't heard from The Undertaker. And it's like, motherfucker, he doesn't owe you anything. And now he's getting like really angry about it, being like, The Undertaker, like, look, man, if you've retired, then tell me you've retired, and that's fine. But if you haven't retired, then, you know, just not even answering me is disrespecting me and the whole WWE universe. John Cena is being a Twitter egg. He's saying, you debate me, Undertaker. This is a public forum and I demand that you debate me. Like, that's what's happening.
Undertaker's like, I'm retired, don't at me.
Yeah.
And Johnny Cena's like, a year later, hey, motherfucker.
Well, I'm just asking questions. I'm just out here.
Why are you so mad?
Yeah. Why won't you even give me an answer? What, are you afraid? Come on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, like he's posting on his YouTube channel, like, first, P.S. fight me, you coward. Like,
it's exactly the same thing, right? It's like, you know, it's like when someone asks you to make a statement on something you shouldn't have to make a statement on, right? It's like, well, I just want to make sure that you're actually against, you know, murder. It's like, I shouldn't have to come and tell you that I'm against that, right? It's like Undertaker's like, why do I have to tell him that I'm retired? Why? What?
And John Cena's doing stuff like, you're busy posting workout videos on your wife's Instagram, but you don't have time to respond to me, and it's like,
no, man, I'm retired.
He's retired. Let him
What
live
the
his
hell?
life.
So
The man bled for us for like 20 years, and you just want him to like.
now John Cena's being a petulant little asshole about it. But Kane did show up to deliver a message, kinda. Well, Kane just showed up.
Like, stop making fun of the Undertaker.
Yeah, Kane
also vote for me.
It's true. Kane's running for mayor in the town where he
not mayor of WWE, but
Glenn Jacobs, who plays Kane, is running for mayor. He's not running for mayor as Kane, though his logo is fire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's kind of leaning in.
Is it the fire emoji, like when he cuts promos?
No.
They put the fire thing all over the screen.
So Kane came out, and the announcers were like, "Oh, here's Kane to deliver a message," and he just choke slams John Cena. And
they had a match, and John Cena taunted the Undertaker a little bit. It was sweet.
Yeah, but last night on the Go Home episode of Raw,
it was the same stuff we've been seeing for weeks.
Yeah, it was like, oh, Undertaker's going to answer his question. No, he's not.
Dude, John Cena was during that promo. He's doing like you know when you go to an arena and the crowd, they on the like the scoreboard thing, they're like, it's a loud-o-meter, and like how loud can you? That's basically what John Cena was doing. I don't know, Undertaker can't hear you unless you cheer real loud, and then he like point the crowd out. We gotta wait if you clap.
I do believe in Taker. I do believe in Taker.
Undertaker's Tinkerbell.
Every time you clap your hands, Undertaker gets a druid. So, I don't know what the point of all this is.
I don't know. We don't even know what's going to happen.
Because there's still no match announced. That was the go-home show. There's still, all we know is John Cena's going to be at WrestleMania in the crowd, I guess.
Yeah.
The prevailing fan theory in terms of like, like fan booking, I guess, is that The Undertaker will indeed show up and accept John's challenge, but dressed as the American badass, big evil Undertaker with like his motorbike. And if you hear Limp Bizkit roll and roll and roll and hit in the where is this taking place? The New Orleans, the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Then I guess,
dude, I will lose my fucking mind if Roland starts playing.
So like the notion being that the dead man has been retired.
Yeah, like he left the hat and the coat.
Yeah,
so he can't wear that anymore, but he can still put on the bandana and the leather pants. And
yeah, so it's like, so the three options are either they completely ignore whatever happened last year and that he does come back as the dead man.
Yeah.
Which would, I mean, at least Roman could stop saying he retired the Undertaker, which would be kind of funny.
Yeah.
2, he shows up as the American badass Undertaker, mean Mark Calloway. Which would be weird, but apparently he had after WrestleMania he had, I can't remember if it was hip surgery or knee surgery or something. But apparently it's been great, and he's been like
a lot more mobile.
A lot more mobile. Or nothing happens.
I heard a rumor that it was going to be Rey Mysterio was going to be his part.
I think that was planned like way a while ago, but they never actually sorted that out, which is what brought this whole thing on.
What if Rey Mysterio shows up dressed as the Undertaker?
I just feel like it's going to be a really bad, like, it's Chekhov's Undertaker, right? You can't be like, there's an Undertaker in the first act and then not have it go off in the third act. I don't know. It's not like I'm not going to watch WrestleMania, so I'm going to find out what happens. But it's baffling that they're.
It's kind of intriguing.
It's just weird that like John Cena technically isn't advertised for this show.
Yeah.
Though apparently Daniel Bryan being advertised for this show has caused quite a spike in ticket sales.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Maybe they'll actually take notice this time.
Well, I think
by
now they know.
Finally,
I don't think they know. I don't think they need to be sold on Daniel Bryan now.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
so
stranger things have happened.
Yeah, there's WrestleMania. It's gonna be, like we said, in just a few days now, and afterwards we'll do our best to get a WrestleMania episode up in reasonable time.
Yeah.
I mean, we've sort of covered all the preamble now.
Yeah,
so maybe we'll
dive right in.
We can sort of dive right in, and then later in April.
Oh yeah.
Is the Greatest Rumble.
Yeah.
Which is a network special that the WWE is presumably being paid some insane amount of oil money to do in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Which is why there are no women competing at the event.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah.
There's every men's championship is being defended. So there's 7 championship matches. There's just a random match between John Cena and Triple H, and a 50-man Royal Rumble. Which, by the way,
I love that this makes you so upset.
Well, they've already started being like, we've announced the first 5 participants, and it's like Daniel Bryan, Kane, Bray Wyatt. It's like, it's 50 people. You've only got, including the cruiserweights, you've only got like maybe 60 people on the main roster. Like, you don't need to announce who's going to be. Everyone's going to be in the match. We know that everyone's going to be in the match. It's ludicrous. Anyway, so they're doing that as a network special that's going to air at some useless time of day, but it's the network, see, it's video on demand. So it's a giant rumble. It's a 50-person rumble. It's going to be a train wreck. So we got to do a bit about that. Oh, also,
I was hoping you didn't forget. Yeah.
On Saturday, April 14th.
Oh, we got moved?
Yeah, because the Friday is the pre-release. On Saturday, midday time, exact time to be determined. So please watch Twitters for that. We're going to be doing a
watch which Twitters, Graham?
Oh well, I did it in the wrong order. That would have been such a great segue. We're going to be doing a live sidewalk slam, basically.
Some sort of live walk slam.
Some sort of live walk slam. Yes. On Twitch. Twitch is doing a cross-promotion thing with wrestling, and so we're going to be on the main page of twitch.tv, which is very exciting, and so we're going to be doing basically this, but live with...
Are we going to shoot from here?
Interaction? I think we could.
We could.
Anyway, it'll be Q&A and our thoughts probably on Mania by that point, because it'll be April 14th, so...
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what time of day, but like I said...
I think we were talking about that idea of just talking about our favorite storylines that we've ever had and stuff like that. Bring a couple to the table and then...
So keep an eye on the Twitters, which is to say at LoadingReadyRun for updates on that, but we will also let you know from our Twitters. I am Graham_LRR.
And I am at WakeUpSuper.
Yeah. And even though this episode wasn't edited by Ben, shoutouts to Ben.
Ben, you're beautiful.
And this show and everything we do is brought to you by Patreon and patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. We really appreciate you watching, and hopefully you feel prepared for WrestleMania now.
Yeah.
And
you're all primed up.
Yeah. And we'll talk to you next time.
If we see you at PAX East, we'll be at PAX East.
Come say hi.
Come say hi.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.